Well, welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We have a fun interview here in the studio. We were just talking, this is Angela Meyer, we're talking about the Little Balkans Days. That's coming up very soon. In fact, it's just a couple of weeks away.
It is.
It's hard to believe we're already at that time of year, and of course, it's a staple of Pittsburgh. So first off, tell me a little bit about Little Balkans Days. How long has this been going on, and how has it changed over the years?
So it started out in 1985. In fact, we have one of the original committee members back on the committee. Penny Armstrong seems to have turned into the historian of the group, where I can say, hey Penny, how did they used to do this? How did this start? And by no means am I saying she's old, but she tells me that they had over 40 volunteers. They had a huge budget for the time, and it's ebbed and flowed like any event does. But we're on our 37th year this year, and we are excited. We have a full week, which in years past it was only a weekend, and we've grown that since COVID to a full week. So we kick off August the 29th and we'll wrap up September the 4th, and we have literally something for everybody, even though I know I say that every year, but we truly do.
What led to it growing to a full week?
Well, I think some of it was the committee felt like after COVID and being where we couldn't be out, we couldn't be around people, that we really wanted something where people could spend a week doing all different kinds of things. So we've focused a lot on the educational aspects. We found ways of an evening where you can grab a quick dinner with the kids, bring them out and teach them how to embroidery with the Quilt Guild. Or we have our first hands-on cooking school August the 29th. So if you want to do something educational with your kids, we have those options. If you want to do something fun with your kids, we have those options. If you want a date night, we have those options. If you just want to be a girls' day shopping in the park, we have almost 70 vendors signed up, and that keeps rolling in every day. We're still taking vendors. So we really want this to be something from everybody, be able to go out with your family, your friends, and really experience Southeast Kansas, a good staycation of sorts.
Yeah, and I was telling you, I took the family, maybe 3 years ago now, and they had a blast. But one of the things that we ran into was trying to get to everything in Pittsburgh when you've got so many people coming up. There's some traffic you're not used to. It's not necessarily easy to get from place to place, but you do have a solution in place to kind of help out with that.
Well, we have a map on our brochure that has designated parking areas. We've gotten smarter over the years and figured out if we designate vendor parking, that keeps some of the traffic down in Lincoln Park. It's going to be one way, a lot like the city does at the 4th of July, which minimizes some traffic footprints. We tried to shuttle in years past, and we're hoping to revive that in the future. But right now, we just want to make sure that people are able to get there. So there's plenty of parking. Hopefully we'll have good weather, and that always makes for a fun week, and especially a fun weekend in the park.
And you mentioned a few of the things that folks can do. What are some of the other things they can do, and what changes as the week goes on at the event?
So we evolved our buttons. If you're familiar with the festival, we used to have metal buttons. In the last couple of years, they were about 3 inches in size, and we used a photo from our photo contest. This year, the festival's gone what I would call green. So you can pick up what we call a passport now. It's the same thing as a button. It is available at Ron's, at Kansas Teachers Credit Union, at Celebrations by Lori, at the Chamber, at the Crawford County Museum. You can order online, you can order by phone. We have all kinds of options for those. And it has a little bubble on the front of it. There's 10 bubbles in total. There'll be a magical color code at all the events, but those correspond to our passport events, formerly known as button events. And with that $5 passport, you get into everything in the festival, with the exception of the carnival that does have a wristband. So you'll pick up one of those passports. You'll go to things like the concert with the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, sponsored by Cox and Memorial Auditorium, and we'll highlight that. If you go to at least 4 button events, or 4 passport events as they're currently known, you can take your passport back to where you purchased it, or any of the passport events, drop that off, and thanks to our sponsor MPIX, you can be entered to win a $500 cash prize, or thanks to the Chamber, $100 in Chamber bucks.
Wow. So, that is a pretty good deal to just encourage you to go to everything you can while you're up there. And we just had on our screen a moment ago, the list of things to do and the list of vendors is a mile long.
It is, and so those passport events are fewer in number. We have tons of stuff to offer at the festival, But the one thing I want to emphasize to people is get your passport early. We'll have those at all the passport events as well. They'll be on sale throughout the week of the festival. But if you're interested in the Ozark Mountain Daredevils concert, you don't need a ticket. You need a passport. We'll open the doors at 5:30. We have a phenomenal opening act called the Mocan All-Stars that are a great group of local musicians, super talented. And then we're part of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils 50th anniversary tour. So it's in memorial, in the air conditioning, but first come, first serve seating, no reserve seating, so you can't hold a seat for your friend. We're going to be the group of people that have to walk around and say, hey, have you met your neighbor? Slide over and let us put one more person in there. But we'll want you to have your passports. We'll be checking and giving out wristbands to make sure everybody can get seated, but it's limited seating because it is memorial and there are a finite amount of seats.
Gotcha. And for more information, where can people go?
So Facebook has all of the events. You can look us up at Little Balkans Festival Association on Facebook, www.littlebalkans.com or littlebalkansfestival.com. Facebook will have current and updated events as we go. We're trying to spread the word about those. The Morning Sun is doing a full insert with all of the schedule as well. And then brochures are scattered all over the community. So you can find our posters with a QR code for your phone. You can find paper brochures. This year they have blue covers. They stick out. You can't miss them in the restaurants and the coffee shops. You can always grab one of those.
All right. Angela, thank you so much for stopping by. And because there is so much to talk about with Little Balkans Days, make sure you stick with us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14 at 7, because we'll be back talking more about Little Balkans Days, and we'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.